you're allowed to share. Aisha, good morning.
Hi.
There we go, Mary.
Here.
Yeah, here, good morning. Alejandro.
Hi.
There we go. And then we've got Marielle.
Hey.
And then last but not least, Professor Jonathan.
Yes,
good morning to you.
Morning.
And how are we?
Doing pretty good.
Yeah?
Doing pretty good here. We're together with some students. As we have said already, celebrate and commemorate the 59th anniversary of our school, Instituto Cultural, as one of the leading schools in different things, including technology and the English language as the first language. So we're here with some of the kids to share with you and your audience what we've done.
You're all here.
Yes.
We don't have anybody else. let me see, because I got a little bit of information before we came in. And mathematics and robotics was the thing that. And this is sort of under a system from Singapore, is that right?
Correct.
And this is a tiny little island, isn't it, Singapore?
Yes.
I mean, I spent a number of years there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Awesome.
a long time ago.
Okay.
How come it's got that much influence, Singapore, with these kind of subjects?
Okay, Singapore as a country didn't have much to offer to the world because it was tight. Didn't have much influence on. So they decided to put a lot of their effort into education, and they developed a system in which they could reinvest their PBI back into their company, their own country, people, in order to become strong in that. So they decided to do. They took about 15 years in order to work it out, and then they worked it out really well, and they decided to export it, which is now known as Singapore Mathematics Singapore.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yes.
because it's interesting because it has become like a sort of powerhouse.
Yes.
Because I was there when it changed. It went through a very similar situation as Panama did in 2000, because it was originally part of the UK, believe it or not.
Okay.
And then they got sort of independence, and they had to change from reliant on the sort of industry from the forces,
Correct.
to becoming strong. And
yes.
then when they really went into the sort of the financial sector,
But it took them. Well, I'm not an expert on that because my main subject is English.
I go back
Yeah,
all the
but-
way. Don't worry about it. But no. I mean, it's an incredible success story. It really is. Now, 59th anniversary.
Yes.
We've got 4 of your students here, and I tell you what. Let me start with Maria.
Okay.
What is your sort of feelings about these kind of studies? Are you good at maths? Do you do maths?
Well, I'm gonna say I'm good at it, but then I get very nervous when it's time to do tests or something like that. But I do get very well. I do like maths because
You like maths?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
When I understand it, at least.
Oh, when you understand it.
Yeah.
I think we've got Mary there. I'm sort of looking there.
Yes.
You're smiling and putting your finger. You like maths?
Yeah, actually, I participated this year in the National Math Olympics competition.
There's an Olympics on mathematics.
Yeah, there are.
I thought it was just how far you could jump.
Well, actually, I have the honor to have Lara Villegas as a student, and she earned the gold medal nationally. Well, and thankfully I didn't, but it is the first time that I participated, and it's more than enough to be
What
a national
what do you have to do to be a mathematical Olympian?
Oh, well,
Give me an example of a problem.
well, I couldn't, because there are so many, and they actually don't only ask about mathematical equations and stuff like that. They ask you a lot about logic, which is, even though you might find it easy, it's really, really hard.
Logic is, funnily enough, something. I mean, my grandfather. My listeners have heard this before. My grandfather loved maths. He used to come home and just do them for fun. Nobody does mathematics for fun. But he really sort of enjoyed. But the thing is, you mentioned logic.
Yeah.
And logic today, I think, is very, very important. If you are going into sort of like, I guess, writing computer programs, it's a logic-based system. Do you do that as well? Do you do right? I bet you do, don't you?
Well, I'm not really good with technology, so I'm going to leave that to someone
great.
else. But yeah, there's a lot of logic involved, and you've got to have the passion for it. Because if you don't like it, even though you might be good at it, it's really not going to work out.
No, I know. Yeah. And then somebody came up with this silly idea of doing mathematics with letters.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, well, I mean, that's a bit silly, really, you know. Alejandro, where do you fit in on this? Are you a sort of, I would say you're more of a robotics guy.
Wow, you really see through my eyes. Yes, I'm in 4th grade. I've worked with robotics. I went to la Universidad Tecnológica de Panamá and make a robot made by Lego with my classmates. We were dividing in groups, and in 5th grade I started getting more into what is programming. Programming robots is harder than I thought, because in 4th grade it was very easy because it was a basic thing, but in 5th grade it started to be a little bit harder. In 5th grade, my entire class finished his robot, and it was very, very cool.
I mean, one of the things, I mean, you say cool, I mean, I think robots are cool. There's a program on TV, I'm sure you've seen, the Robot Wars, where they're fighting each other, the different robots. These are really, I mean, but they're really, I mean, it's clever the way, but of course, it's the programming and getting them to do exactly what you want. And artificial intelligence is something we had yesterday in, I don't know if you know him, yesterday we had Dr. Jorge Mota in here, who is the head of Synosip.
Okay.
And we were talking to him about this sort of technology stuff, and the program, they've got a whole sort of in October, sort of like a month of stuff going on to do
Yes,
with
technology, as you very well stated out, is leading education nowadays, and we as a school need to help to provide to the students the leading tools in order to be able to tackle those future situations that they will have to deal when they graduate. So it's starting from very young, school in its 59th anniversary has done that since as long as they have started. They push the idea of a technology, they push the idea of English as a first language.
So going all the way back to
beginning
59 years, the school has always been sort of technologically based.
Yes.
So you must remember things like vinyl and reel-to-reel tapes and things like that, because they were really hot in the and a thing called the Walkman. Do you remember the
Walkman?
Yeah, there we go. Yes.
Oh, that's in the museum now.
Thank you very much. So should I be in the museum, I think.
Ah, come on.
Right, I think we're going to take another piece of music and let's shake it up. This is the Cars. There you go. See, it's easy. Actually, because I went up to Boston last week. I was away, and 9 years. Gosh, that's going back a little bit. And we've got Aisha, Mary, Alejandro, Mariel, and Professor Johnson. Aisha,
Yes.
what's your speciality?
One of
Are
my
you a mathematical person?
No, not
I
really.
didn't like you.
I'm not. I don't enjoy math. The only type of math I like really is algebra.
Oh, here we go.
My strongest subject is science and
Okay.
social studies. I really enjoy science, and I love biology as well, but I don't give biology yet since I'm in 7th grade, but I do some research sometimes.
Okay, and what side of biology attracts you the most?
Mostly brains.
Oh, yes?
Yes, I like to investigate a lot how brains work and whatnot. It's really interesting to
You
me.
see, well, funny enough, I'm reading a very good book at the moment. It's by Professor Sue Black, and she is not a mortician, but she deals with cadavers, with dead people. And it's all her story about her. She is one of the top people now. She's in the University of Dundee, Sue Black. And it's how you sort of, if you like, separate the body from life. And it's what remains is the name of the book. You'd enjoy that. It's all about cutting people up and well, in a nice way. I mean, she explains how she gets over that, and she's one of the top in her field. She will get a phone call and she has to go off somewhere in the world and do some forensic science work and stuff like that. I can see you doing that. Whatever you do, keep doing your education. If you don't get educated, you end up doing radio programs. And yeah, come on, Mary, you go with a mathematical problem for us. Come on.
Well, one of the hardest math
Olympics problems I've had done before is the following.
And this is for our listeners. You've got to give me the answer to this.
Okay, so a man goes camping. He wakes up in the morning and walks 1 kilometer south, 1 kilometer east, and then 1 kilometer north. He ends up in the exact same place he started. Now, on the way, he saw a bear. What was the bear's color and why?
There you go. So a man has gone camping, which is a silly thing to do in the first place. He gets up and he walks 1 kilometer south, 1 kilometer east, and then 1 kilometer north. Goes back to where he started from, and he saw a bear on the way. What colour was the bear, and why? How many smarty pants we got out there? Right, now 59 years. What are you doing special for the 59th anniversary?
We have
Apart from being on the radio.
Yeah, of course. We had a very nice activity on Monday, which, among other things, we had some basketball games between teachers versus students or against students, which is very interesting seeing at least my colleagues going against the kids and playing basketball. That's one. Then we are having an event on Sunday morning at Parque Omar, in which we're going to be a lot of different games for the kids, and teachers and parents are going to be invited as well. And then tomorrow we are having art gallery presentation at Isai University, in which we are going to be putting up a lot of the work of the kids and a lot of different things that we have in the school. We'll be having a gallery presentation at Isai University. So we do have different activities through this whole week that commemorate the 59th anniversary of the school, being founded back in 1959 by teacher Nidia Echeverria, which is very interesting.
Okay, now tell me, if you're obviously a sort of technologically focused school with maths and so, what technological tools do you use to teach? Because I mean, there's so much sort of, I love it when you go and you see now, because when I was a kid, you would have a blackboard, and the teacher would have with chalk, and if you misbehave, the teacher would throw the chalk at you.
Yes, that cannot happen.
You don't throw the mouse at anybody.
Nothing.
Nothing. You don't have anything to throw.
No, I would love to hang a kid from the ceiling, but I can't do that.
No, I know. How times have changed.
Yeah, lots. Now, what we do have, it depends on all of us as colleagues, as teachers, have different tools that we can get access to. Some things that we do have in class, aside of robotics and aside of actual math of Singapore, as we do it in class. At least in my case, I try to implement project-based learning in class, every single class that I have. I teach elementary school, teach 3rd grade and 4th grade. So whenever I do classes with them, I try to implement real life problems in life, so the kids to start moving from what the teacher told me or what the book says to what I'm experiencing, what my parents have been telling me, and I'm reflected in their life. As an example of that, about 3 weeks ago, we were dealing with a project in which the kids in 3rd and 4th grade had to select an important person in history. They needed to do a research, they needed to investigate about the person, and then they needed to come dressed up the date of the speech as that person. And I just signed that just to see how it went, and I was really surprised in the fact that many of my kids selected really interesting people. I had Simon Bolivar in the classroom, I had Frida Kahlo in the classroom, I have Michael Jackson, I have Lionel Messi, I have lots of different people that are very interested in class doing like that. That was me. Now let's see what the kids have experienced.
Maria?
Okay, so our school has this method or platform called Educaline, which is a form that gives you classes online. Like for example, it's like it gets like the teacher help, so we can use our tablets and our iPads. And I think that's very cool because, for example, for me, it's really cool that we get to use the things we use as teenagers on a daily basis, like our tablets, for example, and use it as learning. Our biology teacher, for example, he uses these images that we can find in Educaline. This is an example for this and that, and it helps people that learn visually, for example. It helps me a lot, and I think that's really cool. And the teachers enjoy it, and we enjoy it as a classroom, and we get united with the teacher. Teacher, this and that, and it's really dynamic. And it has helped my classroom, for example, and myself, because it helps kids that don't usually like to sit and read a book and learn it. we can see visually and use our tablets, and that's really useful.
Yeah, school sounds so fun. It used to be. And how about you, Alejandro?
Okay. What I was gonna say is that the platform Educaline, it's very diverse. 'Cause you can use it at school and you can use it also as in your home.
Mm-hmm.
It also gives more information than a normal book, because normally books are not always
Right.
to date.
Mm-hmm.
But Educaline has a lot of things, very interesting things, and it's very good.
So when you, because you do all this, like you said, on tablets and whatever, does the school supply the tablets?
No.
Oh no, you see, now when I was a kid, all my mother had to do was buy me a pencil, a razor and a geometry set. Now you got to buy an iPad.
Yeah, but the benefits are bigger than you
Oh
think.
no, well I agree with you. I mean, I got my book, I got my, this is my latest gadget.
Oh.
Oh, look at
I
that.
mean, and also
That's a full Windows 10 computer.
we don't you all have iPads. We always share through, so it's beneficial for all of us.
Great. All right. And anyway, we've got any answers to our mathematical problem yet? This guy is still walking 1 kilometre south, 1 kilometre east, and 1 kilometre north, and he bumped into a bear. What colour was the bear? Come on. Even I can work that out. I was told the answer. Right. I tell you, look, we're getting towards the end of the program. You're going to have to give the answer because nobody knows.
Of course.
Yeah.
So the answer is that the bear was white. And you might be wondering why. Well, if you look at a plain surface, you'll see that if you walk south, east, and north, 1 kilometer each, you will never be able to reach the same place you started with. So the only place where you can walk south, east, and north, and then end up in the same place you started, is in the upper angle of the globe, the Earth.
Yeah.
So
you're walking that way and you go round and you come back that way.
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I'm not as stupid as I look. Believe it or not.
right in the North Pole, the only kind of birds there are white bears, polar bears.
There you go. See, that was simple. If you're a polar bear. Well, look, I got to go. I mean, you can all stay, but I got to give the studio back because I got to go now probably and have a nap. Well, congratulations on 59 years. That's absolutely great, and enjoy all the fun. Come and see us at the 60th.
Okay.
Big party for the 60th.
Sure.
So that's it. So big thank you to my guests. We've got Aisha, thank you. We've got Mary, Alejandro, Mariel, and Professor Jonathan. Thanks so very much. Thank you. As I said, I have to go. Big thanks also to Dr. Computer, who was with me this morning, to Yasmin here in the Breakfast Show studio, the boys and girls of Group Agrada, my co-producer Neil Danby, and as always to you, our listeners, advertisers and sponsors, thank you so very much for being with us. And don't forget Champion Sports Bar, they're inviting you to enjoy their happy hours from Monday to Friday, 5 till 8, with wings at 60 cents per piece and 2 for 1 for cocktails. You can enjoy a fun afternoon in the best sports bar in the city, Champion Sports Bar in the Marriott Hotel. Give them a call, 210-9235, 210-9235. And remember, whatever it is you're going to be doing between now and when we get together tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock, especially if you're behind the wheel of a car and you actually happen to be moving, do it carefully. Remember what I say, I want to be talking to you, not talking about you, alright? So from me, Gerry D, till then, ta-da.
Let's have a picture.
There you go. Panama Broadcasting Corporation. Social media. Till then.
Shall we have a picture?
Yeah.